only resulting to completing one wave. What should our next target cost be as we start the going with one? We can use Fibonacci levels to figure it out by looking at the high and beat spots of the wave down that we can audit when the second Alnut wave totally finished, traversing it was around here or another region, and if it's not finished right now and there might be another push the substitute way. Regardless, we ought to just say that we completed our second Alnut wave at a cost of around $37,600 in that specific circumstance. We should zero in on our one. The 618 Fibonacci improvement level will be around $33,400. I figure this target may be beast if the CPI data is genuinely surprising and we see a central drop in Bitcoin's expense, maybe in the going with a few hours. The 618 Fibonacci improvement level at an expense of $33,400 is huge, everything considered to watch. As per my perspective, it's not likely that the expense will go up an amazing strategy, yet we should regardless be coordinated in during the improvement report is truly surprising. Finally, might we at last look at extra unambiguous signs? We ought to inspect our perspective will happen to the expense of Bitcoin. We can see that there is critical strong regions for crucial for a reaction happening at the gold Fibonacci degree locale. Anyway, as I have truly said in my past records, valuable moving midpoints are used on the hour, 2-hour, 4-hour, and standard time periods, the ceaseless second. Things are looking astoundingly certain and we are going up. Besides, expecting that you decide to use the RSI marker on the 1-hour graph for Bitcoin, you could see that it is delineating a higher low RSIA and a lower low. A few hours sooner, there was an odd bullish divergence in the oversold region.at standard reaches, similar to accuracy, they are something fundamentally muddled. The Bitcoin cost is outlining secret bullish divergences on brief time spans, with extra odious obstructed spots and really propelling beat spots down. Certainly, as I said a few days sooner, on the standard plan we are seeing signs of costs going down, yet this resulting we are not strong regions for seeing for any of costs going down that we truly gotten a fundamental excusal when the expense went up, and there was a lot of trading happening. Thusly, likewise, I truly need to say that lenient Bitcoin goes up, the dire spot it could endure increasing to avoidance is at the amazing Fibonacci degree from the most focal part for unequivocal the base. We generally use the marvelous Fibonacci degree on our graph. You could see that the expense will strong regions for gigantic for face at $37,400, which matches the past all-around enormous expense. This is titanic for liquidity. Likewise, when you measure how much trading the more certain expenses, you'll see that the value locale high is near the gold Fibonacci degree. That is the very thing sure people trust accepting we interface our old most raised concentrations with a slanting line of impediment, it will charmingly match the control point. Clearly, I agree with them. This truly gathers that expecting that Bitcoin propels forward up, we should zero in on a particular region where the expense could stop. This region figures out our past highs, a corner-to-corner level, a nature of control, a value locale high, and the incomparable Fibonacci degree. At $37,400. When we beat this trouble and go up, I figure the expense of Bitcoin could show up at one more high above $38,000. What could it eventually be sensible, considering all that we trade today? We could look for one more significant opportunity to sell, or maybe to buy. If you haven't proactively bought gold at the Fibonacci degree, I have zero confidence in getting it right now is perfect. We will before long see CPI data that could impact the expense of Bitcoin. As of now, I have zero faith in it's really shrewd to buy or save gold for a surprisingly long time next to expecting that you got it at the gold fib. If we right as of now say that we completed our most basic flooded part wave here, and we got besides our following part wave, clearly, what is the going with cost target? All we really want to do, we go with our Fibonacci increase levels from our swing high, back to our swing low, back towards the fulfillment of our following part wave. We could investigate when this second Alnut wave genuinely finished, in case it was truly at this specific locale, or maybe at this specific region, or maybe if it's not even finished as of the steady second, and we will see another push towards the inverse. In any case, we ought to just say that we finished our second Alnut wave all around at $37,600. Taking into account everything, we in all honesty believe it or not do need to zero in on our 1.618 Fibonacci increase level, which will be at around $33,400. So I would concur that this specific goal will change into a sincere part, gave that right now our CPI data will be uncommonly, extraordinarily negative, and we are genuinely going to see a massive reaction in the Bitcoin respect itself, and we are truly going to see a significant drop, maybe in the following couple of hours, expecting that is bound to be what's going on. Accepting our colossal assistance regions here will with being broken, clearly, I would concur that 1.618 Fibonacci improvement level is a major expense place for us to gather around at $33,400, yet as recommended at this moment, genuinely as indicated by my perspective, it isn't conclusively imaginable that we will see a main push towards NASA, yet as proposed fairly early, We should be worked with thinking about how envision what's going on where extension report here will be exceptionally negative. As of now, we ought to isolate extra bullish signs. We ought to break down what can't try not to be what's happening for the Bitcoin respect itself. We know right now that we are seeing a significant reaction, or actually an unfathomably staggering reaction, unequivocally at the gold Fibonacci degree district here. Anyway, as proposed right now in my past records, amazing moving midpoints on the 1 hourly, on the 2 hourly, on the 4 hourly time span, even on the standard period of time. As of now looking particularly bullish, we are in a trip. Besides, expecting that you will go, for example with the RSI marker, perceive on the 1 hour stretch of time, Bitcoin is outlining a higher low RSI barely out of the plastic new, lower low, and we were even at the oversight district a couple of hours sooner, stowed away, bullish uniqueness 0.2 hourly time interval, for hourly time frame, exactly the same thing. Lower low, higher low on the Bitcoin respect itself, hidden away bullish divergences are simply in a short time being outlined on coterminous term stretches of time. Indeed, as at present construed other than a couple of days sooner, on the standard period of time, we are outlining negative disparity here, yet as implied, locally talking, we are correct now not unequivocally seeing any Goliath negative signs, simply that we have gotten a beast excusal towards the ordinary development on an extraordinarily high volume. In this manner, thusly, I could truly need to say that expecting Bitcoin does spectator and as its would like towards the possible development, our locale, or genuinely our most principal region check is again going to be splendid Fibonacci degree. From the high back to our low, applying only the gold Fibonacci degree on our chart. You can see the close by resistance will come up totally at 37,400 US, changing flawlessly with our past highs for liquidity purposes. Furthermore, moreover, correspondingly examining the entire upper expense improvement with volume, you will see we genuinely have our value area high around at the gold Fibonacci degree. Certain people similarly express that expecting we truly take a gander at our past highs with an inclining area of hindrance that this level situation here will charmingly agree with control. Moreover, as a general rule, I would agree with them. So what we can write as of now express, continuing on through Bitcoin happen with higher, our most principal neighborhood deterrent for us to zero in on, it will be this specific zone, around our past highs, in everyday our off-kilter level, our place of control, our value district high, and clearly likewise the shocking Fibonacci degree at 37,400 US. Unequivocally when we start breaking this specific area of deterrent toward the possible development, as indicated by my perspective, we can be looking for a scarcely out of the plastic new higher high to be molded on Bitcoin more than 38,000 USD. Anyway, the long stretch, what will be our trading examinations for the present? Where we can truly be looking for a scarcely out of the plastic new short, maybe a long or a buying position, right now, in case you haven't exactly entered an ideal long or a buying position at the gold Fibonacci degree, going with a long or a buy here, as I ought to normally think, it isn't conclusively going to be the most ideal decision. On a very basic level other than understanding that in the following couple of hours, we will see CPI data that is generally obviously going to affect the Bitcoin respect itself. So going with a long or a buy as of this second, as per my perspective, if you haven't done as such at the gold Fibonacci degree, not the best decision. I would concur that going with a short circumstance as proposed before with a trading thought. Of that this here being a monthly resulting to completing one wave, what should our next target cost be as we start the going with one? We can use Fibonacci levels to figure it out by looking at the high and beat spots of the wave down that we can audit when the second Alnut wave totally finished, traversing it was around here or another region, and if it. The worth of Bitcoin has remained trustworthy at around 37,000. In the relentless video, we'll take a gander at the support for why we could see beast changes in Bitcoin's expense in the going with a few hours. The improvement in Bitcoin buyers and a coming improvement report are the reasons behind this. In any event, we will see really has the stores of being all like that. Bitcoin got pardoned at $38,000 and went down. At this point right now it is clearly representing solid areas for an on the 2-hour frame. Again of late, the expense went down. We are going towards $36,000. It seems like there is a little change in the value. Expecting we take a gander at any rate most fundamental spots, the tremendous degree is the Fibonacci degree. Moreover, when we perceive how much trading and the improvement of expenses, it seems like there is a response at the lower end of the expense range. Besides, we other than got out 2 or 3 resources for liquidity reasons. Besides, it sends an impression of being that there is a recognizable response to the more sensible reach while taking a gander at trading volume and cost chances. This second, we are seeing a little improvement upwards. Anyway, might Bitcoin whenever stay at this level of help for the going with a few hours? Also, might it at whatever point keep on going higher? This second, people are watching the market close to see what others are doing that it really has the stores of being all similar to that. For certain, we think things are doing consummate as of now. In the Bitcoin graphs, our CVD marker shows that a more pivotal number of people are selling than buying. This proposes there is a lot of selling pressure keeping watch, disregarding the way that Bitcoin's expense is correct now higher than genuinely early. On September 14th, I posted a tweet on Twitter about Bitcoin. I conveyed that there is a lot of interest in Bitcoin on the CVD marker. People are in a general sense buying according to a general point of view regardless not succeeding. Regardless, in this particular situation, we have a sign that the expense could start to go down. One more high point is being outlined on the CVD marker. Bitcoin was making a lower high, but right now it is doing the inverse. We are seeing that the credit for Bitcoin is going up, yet the CVD pointer is showing an incredible dissatisfaction. This plans that expecting that this interpreted that Bitcoin's expense would go down. It's a fundamental enabling to Bitcoin's weight at the present time that we are seeing something completely different, which is really going to be a fair sign for the Bitcoin cost. Sadly, it's not commonly so particularly normal as you would dependably think. On September 14th, when I posted this, it was an enormous sign that the expense of Bitcoin could go down. Notwithstanding, the expense of Bitcoin has gone up a lot of late. Expecting we look at the 4-hour frame, we can see that it happened at a specific time. Bitcoin progressed forward up. What am I attempting to say? Beyond a shadow of a doubt, it conveys an impression of being that way. We are at present seeing a lot of buying improvement keeping watch, which is making costs go up. Regardless, we can't just see this data and say Bitcoin will go up in regard. This is especially clear considering the way that new improvement data will be passed on soon. What we can expect to see is a fundamental ruin from 3.7% changes into around 3.3. Despite in the going with a few numbers, we will sort out what the genuine data shows. Expecting Bitcoin pushes ahead with the alternate way. This is considering the way that a piece of the specific signs, especially the planned stream, are looking incredibly certain that in any event. Another really key thing that I genuinely need to fill you in about. Envision what's going on wherein the signs that costs will go up are misguided and we will truly progress forward down and progress the assistance region we with having. Since, expecting that we look at a 1-hour time span, I truly suggested that this could serious strong regions for B for A. Moreover, I remember that we for the most part talking in all can agree that this cost advancement looks staggeringly consistent. So if we make a truly investigate this second, it suggests that Bitcoin could have showed up at its Bitcoin has been persistently trading at the 37,000 region and in the present Bitcoin cost assumption video, we'll take a gander at the legitimization for why tremendous worth redesigns can be expected at the earliest entryway contemplating how not simply we are seeing some insane bullish help, yet what's more a totally new improvement report will go live. Regardless, as an issue of some significance, what we will see, it really is clearly that, after an excusal at 38,000 USD district, for certain, Bitcoin got a fundamental push towards deterrent. At this moment from there on out, we are basically illustrating solid areas for an or something like that, from an overall perspective looking on the 2-hourly period of time. Of late, we got another push towards inconvenience. Towards 36,000 US dollars where it genuinely appears as though we are correct at last seeing a little reaction since, in such a case that we go from our swing low back to our swing high, what is the foremost Fibonacci degree, it is truly going to be our astonishing pocket, which was convincingly at this specific area. Besides, focusing in general upper expense movement with the volume, it really appears as though we are seeing a reaction at the value locale low. Moreover, likewise, we in this way took out unambiguous lows for liquidity purposes. Along these lines, we were trading at a close by help region or something like that. Moreover, the determined second we are seeing a little turn towards the possible increment. Clearly, the arrangements is Bitcoin going to have the choice to hold our area of help for the going with a couple of hours here? Additionally, truly happen with its way fundamentally higher towards the retrogressive considering the way that the truth is paying as of now, especially close thought concerning what others are doing keeping watch.it truly is plainly that. For certain, we are seeing several bullish signs happening right. As of now in the Bitcoin frames, our CVD pointer, which is assessing expecting that the exchanging pressure is coming keeping an eye out, we are seeing a major push towards trouble, which right at this point proposes selling pressure is coming clearly in the market while Bitcoin is at this point showing a higher low or something to that effect. Finally, on Twitter, on 14th of September, I posted a particularly enchanting tweet, which really said beast upkeep on Bitcoin is right as of now. Happening on the CVD pointer. People are simply buying especially thoughtlessly. For reasons unknown, for this persistent circumstance here, we got a negative uniqueness. Astounding higher high was delineating on the CVD pointer that while Bitcoin was molding a lower high at present for this constant circumstance that we are seeing right now it is as shown by a dependable perspective absolutely novel. We are seeing a higher credit Bitcoin, yet a shining clean lower low on the CVD pointer. So in case this here was a negative sign for Bitcoin was a full alert for the Bitcoin view itself as of the relentless second that we are seeing absolutely fantastic, which is genuinely going to be a bullish sign for the Bitcoin respect itself. There's something wrong with in any event, unfortunately clear as you would think, considering the way that on 14th of September, when I posted this, undeniably, it was a colossal negative sign for the Bitcoin respect itself. In any event, have gotten a basic accomplice in the Bitcoin respect itself since, expecting that we go as of now, for example, on the 4-hour time frame and see when this was genuinely happening, it was truly occurring overall at this specific district, Bitcoin basically happened with ordinarily higher.